The real financial danger is you. It sounds harsh, maybe even a bit accusatory, but I've been thinking a lot about this, and the more I dig, the more I'm convinced it's true. We're all conditioned to fear the market swings, right? The headlines scream about crashes, corrections, bear markets. It's dramatic, it's visible. Our 401 kiloseconds take a nosedive, and panic sets in. We see those red arrows, and our stomachs churn. That's the financial boogeyman we've all been taught to watch out for. And don't get me wrong, market volatility is real. It can be painful, but I've come to realize it's a distraction from a far greater, far more personal, and far more devastating risk. For a long time, I bought into that narrative too. My financial anxiety was tied to the Dow Jones or the S&P 500. I'd read the analysts, try to understand the macroeconomic trends. But then I started noticing something else, a pattern not just in the charts, but in people, in careers, in industries that were once giants and now are, well, footnote. It wasn't always about what was happening to their money, but what was happening to their ability to make money in the first place. This creeping irrelevance, is what I mean by personal obsolescence. It's when your skills, your knowledge, your entire professional toolkit just doesn't cut it anymore in a world that's changing. And when I say insane pace, I mean exponentially. Exponential change isn't just faster. It's a curve that gets steeper and steeper, meaning the rate of change itself is accelerating. What took 10 years to change in the past might now take 2, and soon, maybe 6 months. Think about it. Your knowledge has a half-life now. That's a term from physics, meaning the time it takes for something to reduce to half its initial value. Applied to skills, it means the skills that were gold 5 years ago might be bronze today, and utterly worthless in another 5, or even 2. Compare that to a market crash. Even the worst crashes, historically, have seen markets recover. It might take years, but they tend to trend upwards over the long term. But if your knowledge becomes obsolete, there's no market correction for that. There's no buy the dip on your outdated skill set. You can't just wait it out for your 1990s programming skills to suddenly be in vogue again. Once they're gone, they're often gone for good in terms of high economic value. This is where it gets really interesting, and frankly, a bit scary. We need to start applying this to our lives. This isn't about getting a degree or a certification once and thinking you're set. It's about a daily, weekly commitment to staying sharp, to learning what's next, even if it means admitting what you thought you knew is no longer sufficient. Imagine you're a graphic designer who mastered Photoshop 20 years ago. Amazing. But now, there's AI image generation, new collaborative design platforms, evolving aesthetics, different client demands. If you haven't kept up, your Photoshop mastery, while still a skill, isn't the powerhouse it once was. It's been devalued by progress. Market crashes are like a sudden, high fever. You know you're sick. You feel it immediately. Everyone's talking about it. Obsolescence, that's more like a slow, undetected tumor. It grows quietly, often painlessly at first. While you feel fine, busy with your current job, relying on what you already know. You might even be getting promotions based on your past successes. But underneath, the ground is shifting. Your relevance is eroding, drop by drop. By the time the symptoms become obvious, maybe you're overlooked for new projects. Your freelance work dries up. Or you'll find yourself struggling in job interviews. It might be in an advanced stage. The market is loud. Your obsolescence is often silent until it's critical. How does this apply to our lives? We need to be our own. We need to proactively schedule checkups on our skill relevance. Regularly ask, are my core skills still in high demand? What new skills are emerging in my field, or even in adjacent fields, that I should be? Who are the people succeeding wildly, and what are they doing differently? It's not about paranoia. It's about proactive self-preservation and growth. Don't wait for the market of your career to tell you you're irrelevant. Anticipate the shifts. And here's the kicker. The part that really shifted my perspective and made me realize the title, The Real Financial Danger Is You, isn't just click. Market volatility can hit your savings, your investments, your accumulated wealth. That's painful, no doubt. You might have to delay retirement or scale back on a big purchase. But personal obsolescence attacks your engine, your fundamental ability to generate income in the first place. It's the difference between a storm damaging your harvested crops versus a blight that kills the tree itself, making it incapable of producing any future fruit. If you lose money in the market, but you still have valuable in-demand skills, you can earn it back. You can rebuild. Your engine is still running. But if your skills become obsolete, your engine seizes up. You lose the very means of creating wealth. That's a far more terminal condition financially. That's the economic checkmate. Think of it in terms of life application. While managing your investments is smart, managing your earning power, your adaptability, your network, your personal brand is absolutely critical. It's like focusing only on the fruit your tree produces, but never watering the tree, pruning it, or checking its roots for disease. The fruit is a product of the tree's health. So, What's the real asymmetry here? The market, with all its chaos, eventually tends to find a new equilibrium. Companies adapt, new industries rise, innovation continues. The market, as an ecosystem, recovers and moves on. But if you've become obsolete in the meantime, that recovery means almost nothing to you personally in terms of your ability to participate. The train has left the station, and the station representing your old skill set has been decommissioned. The recovered market doesn't automatically rehire obsolete. It hires relevant. It's a brutal truth. This usually happens because we get comfortable. Our current job feels secure. Our current skills pay the bills. That comfort zone is the breeding ground for obsolescence. It whispers, "You're fine. You don't need to learn that new thing. It's just a fad." But in an exponential world, standing still is moving backward, fast. So, what's the antidote? It's not about trying to time the market perfectly or finding the next unicorn stock before anyone else. It's about relentless, intentional self-investment. It's about continuous learning, and just as importantly, unlearning outdated mindsets and skills. It's about cultivating curiosity and embracing the discomfort of reinvention. Think of yourself as your most valuable, and paradoxically, your most volatile asset. The market will do what it does. You can't control that. But you have far more control over your own relevance and adaptability than you think. The real financial danger might indeed be you, or rather, your inaction in the face of change. But by that same token, your greatest financial security, your most robust defense against any economic storm, also lies within you. It's your willingness to grow, to adapt, to remain a lifelong learner. That's the investment that will always pay dividends, regardless of what the stock market is doing. So, how do we actively fight this personal obsolescence in our everyday lives? It's not always about grand gestures or enrolling in expensive, time-consuming courses. Often, it's the small, consistent habits. Start by dedicating just 15 to 20 minutes a day to intentional learning. This could be reading an article about a new technology in your field or an adjacent one. It could be watching a tutorial. The key is consistency. Think of it like exercising a muscle. Small, regular efforts build strength over time, making you more adaptable and aware of the shifting landscape. Another simple thing: cultivate genuine curiosity. When you encounter something new, instead of dismissing it, ask, why is this gaining traction? What problem does it solve? This mindset shift is powerful. This curiosity leads to unexpected learning paths. You might discover a new tool or a different way of thinking that could become incredibly valuable. The benefit: you stay mentally flexible. Also, actively seek out diverse perspectives. Talk to people outside your usual professional circle. What challenges are they facing? What are they excited about? This broadens your understanding of the world. These conversations can spark ideas or highlight blind spots in your own thinking. The benefit here is a richer, more nuanced view, which is crucial for innovation and problem solving in any role. Embrace micro. Don't feel you have to master an entire new discipline overnight. Learn one small new feature of a software, one new concept, one new term each week. These tiny steps accumulate. Suddenly, after a few months, you've built a significant new layer of The benefit is manageable progress that doesn't feel overwhelming but yields big results. Reflect regularly. At the end of each week, ask yourself, what did I learn this week? What felt outdated in my approach? What one thing can I try differently next week? This self-audit keeps you honest and proactive. The benefit is continuous self-correction and alignment with current realities, preventing that slow drift into irrelevance we talked about. These aren't revolutionary tactics, but their power lies in consistent application. It's about ingraining the habit of learning and adapting into the very fabric of your daily routine. This proactive stance is your best defense. It ensures that while markets fluctuate, your core ability to create value, to adapt, and to thrive remains robust and constantly evolving. Thanks for sticking with me through this. I hope it's given you something to think about. If you're curious, check out the description below. There might be something there to help.